climate controlled practice. That's what we get used to around here.
Any chance to get outside at all a little bit?
Yeah, we've been out 5 or 6 days. Going to try and get out again tomorrow. Supposed to warm up a little bit. Any day out there is like 4 days in here.
You got a chance yet to get an idea of your identity this year? You going to be a speed team, power? What are you looking at?
You know, the beautiful part about this team, I think we can win games in a variety of ways. If the power doesn't show up one day, I think the speed will, and if the speed doesn't show up, the power will. So, pretty multi-dimensional as far as that goes.
A lot of guys back, I guess 7 of 9 from last year. What do you like from what you see from the guys coming back?
You know, experience is the best teacher, you know, and those guys most of the guys in the lineup have been playing since their freshman year, so they've played in every Big 12 stadium, and they're not going to see anything that they haven't seen before. And that has a calming effect on the rest of the crowd when those guys don't get too out of control with their emotions. So I'm hoping that the experience of this team really helps us.
What do you do with Galuski's spot? What do you do with Gray? What do you do in the middle of your infield there?
You know, obviously there's going to be 2 different guys playing there. Looks like we're going to have a freshman shortstop, which always comes with some sleepless nights, but got some really good players in the middle, very dynamic players that are really good. It's the best recruiting class we've had since we've been here, so we don't need a ton of help from new guys, but the help we do need is going to be given by some really talented players.
With the young guy there, do you just stress make routine plays, don't worry about the spectacular, just make the routine plays?
No, I don't know. He's a really dynamic kid, dynamic player. He's fun to be around. I just want him to have fun and play baseball. You know, he's got a lot of older guys around him at those positions that are going to help calm him down. So just go do what you do, man. That's why you're here. And we'll live with some mistakes, but that's how you grow. So that's what he's going to do.
But, you know, up the middle, you've got your center fielder and your catcher, so you've got a pretty good nucleus there.
Yeah, it's as good as you can get right up the middle of the field. And looks like Tyler Dones is going to settle in at second base, and he's a great communicator and has great leadership abilities. So right up the middle, we can surround these young kids with experience.
Been reading a lot this summer about Manoah. Had a great summer up there. Has he carried that over with what you've had so far?
Yeah, he's been really good so far. Knock on whatever I want to knock on, but yeah, I think he made a decision this summer that he's going to get really serious about playing this game for a living, and I think the results have showed. And he's been pitching really well so far this spring, and he's going to have to be a workhorse for us, you know, and go out and give us 100 to 120 pitches every time out.
Yeah.
What sort of development have you seen out of his pitching, maybe last summer to what you've got with him now? Has he grown in any particular area?
He's got all 3 pitches going on really good right now. He has command of all 3 pitches. The stuff is off the charts. He throws really hard, has great changeup, great slider, but he's kind of put it all together. And he's cleaned up his body. You know, that's the first thing he had to do. And he couldn't do that until he made a decision to clean up his body, like we all try to do every day, right? But he's done that, and I think that's what enabled him to turn the corner.
Velocity's obviously there. It was the matter of just refining things, getting a second, third pitch. Was that his deal?
You know, he's always had them. And it's always been in there. He was a super talented kid when we signed him out of high school, and he had all 3 pitches. He just, like I said, had to make that decision that he wanted to be good. And once you make that decision and take pride in it, then your actions follow. And once he made the decision, then everything kind of fell into place for him.
Have you done anything mechanically with him?
Bits and pieces here and there, but I'm here not to screw him up at this point, you know. So I just keep him in line when he starts getting a little bit of fatigue and starts losing his direction a little bit. So just bits and pieces here and there, but I'm not going to change a guy that doesn't need changing.
What about the rest of your arms? What do you like with them, those guys?
You know, there's some experience there too. You know, Cade Stroud has started some games for us in the Big 12. Jackson Wolf has made a jump. A big, tall left-hander, has been throwing pretty well. Nick Snyder has as good as a fall for us as anybody, and he's very capable. Depth is going to be a little bit of an issue between starters, and once we get to the back end of the bullpen where Sam Kessler is going to sit, we're going to need some new guys in that role to fill in some quality innings, and that'll probably dictate our success, how well those new guys pitch in that role.
These first couple weeks down in Georgia, is this an opportunity for you to maybe find some guys that could be your midweek starters? Obviously, you've got an idea who your weekend starters are, although that may change. Is that what you do with these first couple weeks?
Yeah, you got to try and see what everybody on the team can do those first couple of weeks, but you got to win the games too. You can't just go wholesale changes all the time and lose games trying to find out who can play and who can't. So if you're a baseball player at West Virginia, you've got to show in limited opportunities what you can do. It might be an at-bat here or there, an inning here or there, but if you do well, you'll get another inning here or there. So if you don't, then other guys have a chance of passing you up. So in limited opportunities, guys have to show really well.
Generally speaking, is it a situation where the sooner you guys can figure out, you guys being the coaches can figure out where the guys are, the better in terms of the way the season goes?
Yeah, it's nice for everybody to go to the field every day and know who's in lineup and who isn't. Everybody has a role. It's nice to know what your role is early on. But the lineup at the beginning of the year is never the lineup at the end of the year. So guys are always fighting to increase their roles, and that's good. Guys need to fight for that. So, but yeah, and you deal with injuries here and there, and everybody believes in the next man up theory, and that applies here as well. If somebody goes down or somebody isn't playing well, here comes an opportunity for somebody else, and they take advantage of it, they stay.
Now, referring to the preseason polls, do you think the team deserved a higher ranking than 6th?
We were ranked 6th out of 9. It's not very good, is it? I think that's not very good for everybody else. I think that's really good for us, because I think our guys know we're better than that, and that's going to enable them to play with a chip on their shoulder, something to prove. And anytime you get a group of kids with something to prove that are willing to do it, that can be dangerous for the other team. So I wish we had been picked 9th personally, but we slid in at 6th, and I think that's really going to help us more than it hurts us.
And what do you think the team needs to do to establish precedence in the Big 12?
Just do what we do. We've had a history here of really playing better in the Big 12 than we have in the non-Big 12, because our kids look at the schedule and they see Texas and Oklahoma and TCU. They get pretty fired up for those games. I don't know that the kids from Texas and TCU see West Virginia on the schedule and get near as fired up as we do, and that helps us too. So I'm not worried about our kids as far as that goes. The experience of this team, and the fact that we're not going to get in awe of anybody at this point. We know we can literally beat anybody we play on our schedule. So I think that, like I said, we've had a lot of success in the Big 12, and I don't see why this year would be any different.
Some of the guys who were out, Inman, Brophy, how are they looking right now?
Good. Both of them are extremely healthy. They got a lot of buddies, though, that aren't in that situation, but those two guys in particular they're as healthy as they've been their whole careers.
Got some guys hurt right now?
Yes, several. This has been our worst injury year going into the spring of my 7.
Bad luck or?
Yeah, I think so. Different all the way up the body. We have foot, we have backs, we have arms. It's been a crazy spring as far as that goes, and that's why it's really hurt the depth on our pitching staff big time.
I noticed 22 home games. Does that sound right? It's
Charlie?
Yes.
22
Yes,
out of.
that's right.
That's a tough deal going on the road again. I mean, you're going to get obviously the benefit from the RPI point of view, but 22 home games. That's.
It's good and bad. Like you said, it's good for the RPI. If you can win on the road, it really helps you get into postseason. But bad for the fans. I think we have a great product here. We have a great team. We play exciting baseball. If you've been to our games in the past, you've seen walk-off wins against top 10 teams, and it's super exciting. But the nature of college baseball says we don't get to play at home in February and March when the season starts. So it is what it is, and we'll take on all the fans we can have. Come on out and support us and help us win. And like I said, it's a pretty exciting team to watch this year.
You have to rebuild your middle infield. this year. And Tyler mentioned that one of the emphasis of the preseason is being better defensive. Like, you're really good at catcher, obviously, and in center field. How important is getting second and short and nailed down to, building that?
I think that it's all relative because one of the strengths of this team could be starting pitching because we have Manoah and Stroud and those guys. And if you don't play defense behind those guys, one error could cost the pitcher 10 additional pitches per game. And if our starters can get 7 or 8 innings deep, that's really going to help us. So you can't go 7 or 8 innings deep if you make 3 errors behind the pitcher. So defense is something we've really stressed in the infield so far this spring, and I like where we are. I think the freshman shortstop is a really talented kid. And Tyler Doe is as good a second baseman as you can have. So up the middle, I think our defense is going to be fine.
Playing the third help him a lot, making that transition to second?
No, I don't know that helps you. It's a whole different game on that side of the field. You got to play differently and adjust the hops differently. You got different responsibilities. So those two positions are kind of like playing quarterback and free safety, I guess. It's hard to do both.
What do you do at third now? Moving there, how are you going to start that out?
Don't know yet. That job's still up for grabs. Pudge can always go out there and play third base, and he's got a little bit of history of doing that, and he's good out there. And we have another catcher that's going to need to catch some. So there'll be a lot of days where you see Pudge at third base, and a lot of days he's behind the plate. So we're still trying to find that piece of it. So the first 15 games on the road will really help. Somebody's got to step up and win that spot.
You need him at first?
Looks that way. Yeah.
Looks that way. What about DH? What are you thinking there?
It depends on who plays third base and who plays left field, So, but we have some options there.
Typically, you do it a little different. Usually that position's a power guy, but you kind of rotate that around a little bit and use that a little bit more differently than I guess people do.
Yeah, you have a really good home run hitter. Might hit 10 home runs over the course of the season. That's 1 home run every 20 at-bats. It's hard to play for that.
Yeah.
Those just kind of need to show up. But the DH spot for me is anybody that can help us score runs, man. However they can do it. If they're a bunter and a runner or a hit and run guy that helps the offense, you can slide it in that DH spot that way too.
Have you settled on a lineup yet in terms of hitting order, or is that still up to be determined?
Still yet to be determined. Brandon White's coming off injury and just now getting back into it, and that'll dictate, how the lineup kind of sits, whether he's top or bottom type thing. So, but we're going to just try and get our best hitters up to the plate as early as we can. You hate for the game to end with your best hitter standing on deck, So you want your best 3 or 4 hitters at the top. So we're going to definitely do that. How they fall, we don't know yet, but the best guys will be at the top.
Have you talked to Coach Brown about how you want to handle Trey this year as maybe opposed to last year, and how much he's going to play this year?
He redshirted them both last year, so we knew that going into it. Now he's eligible to play for us. But yeah, we've talked about it. I think Coach Brown, as much as I've known him so far, he's such a nice guy. He's worried about how I feel about it, and I'm worried about how he feels about it. And poor Trey's left in the middle, so I want Trey to be able to compete for the quarterback job. If he has an opportunity to do that, Coach Brown wants him to compete for an outfield job. So it has yet to be determined, but he'll probably get some chances to go out and get some at-bats for us early and see how he does. But we're just going to continue to split time with him. He's a great kid, and he'll do whatever's asked of him.
You mentioned
Time
last
for a
time.
couple more.
You mentioned last time that Manoah and Stroud are going to be the 2 weekend guys. Are you close to figure out who's going to take on the third slot in the weekend rotation?
It looks like at this point it'll be Jackson Wolf, the big, tall left-hander, sandwiched right in the middle of Manoah and Stroud. At least that's how we're going to start out opening weekend. So we'll see if it stays that way. If they pitch well, it'll stay that way.
Anything else?
Good.
Appreciate it.